everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today we are going to do my spoiler-free review of The Last Wish, written by Andrzej Sapkowski. Now, The Last Wish is book number 1 in the Witcher series. The Witcher series is a different reading order, and there are 2 books of short stories before you move on to the novels, and then there are 5 novels in the whole series. This book has a really interesting storytelling device where it is a collection of short stories to move us forward and set us up for the novels, and there is one thread of short stories in here that is called The Voice of Reason that anchors us as our main present-day plot, and then there are several short stories that are little mini side quests for you gamers out there that involve our main character going off to fight a monster or going off to a different town to negotiate with a queen or something like that. So there's a lot of different offshoots, and then we have our main storyline called The Voice of Reason. As far as plot, that's about all I can say about it. One story is about vampires, one story is about an incestuous king, one story is about a queen who's trying to find a suitor for her daughter. It's just Geralt going about his day-to-day life, going from town to town, trying to find work. So what is a Witcher? A Witcher is a human being that has been magically transformed to be able to fight monsters. And he is a professional monster hunter, and he charges for his services. There's a lot of magic use in here. There's a lot of fighting in here. Now, when I talk about the world building, I didn't see that there was any world building. And surprise, surprise, I didn't feel connected to any sort of world, and that could be because this book was written in Polish and translated to English, and so a lot of the story is told through dialogue. When we go off on our little side quests and have these different flashback stories, short stories that Geralt explains how he encountered this monster, how he met this different character, there's very little by way of where he's going and how that relates to what he does now. There's also a magic system in here, but again, I couldn't explain that to you either. There's actually not a lot of explanation given to the magic that Geralt uses. There's some magic that he performs. He performs like different signs, and these signs protect him. He drinks a potion that's supposed to help him kill the monster, and that's about all the explanation that we're given. So that's why I say, if you're someone who just doesn't require a lot of explanation, then this could be a good series for you. The main world-building device that we have that's consistent throughout all of the short stories is that everybody mistrusts and everybody hates witchers. Every single town and tavern that Geralt finds himself in, everybody makes a comment one way or another of how much they distrust witchers. They're magic users, they don't like them, they charge, why do you have to be here? I mean, everybody hates the witchers. The world that Geralt is in feels like they have no need or no want for any type of magic users or any of the services that a wizard or a witcher would provide. So our main character, his name is Geralt of Rivia. He is our witcher. The bits and pieces of his characterization we have to build for ourselves, because like I said, the story is told through a lot of dialogue, and we don't get a lot of thoughts that Geralt has. Geralt is not a hero by any means. He's just a guy doing his job. When I was reading, I typed up some notes about Geralt, so I'm going to read them. So Geralt does not always succeed. Sometimes he fails, sometimes he makes mistakes. People call him a womanizer, and I think the writing over-sexualizes women, and I think it's just Sapkowski's style, and the sexual tension is just a part of Geralt and the women who interact with him. Geralt doesn't always jump at the chance to sleep with women, just like Geralt doesn't always jump at the chance to kill people, even though he is provoked in both ways. He's a very matter-of-fact in his interactions. He knows that what he does is a job, and he really doesn't feel one way or another about the monsters he faces or why the monsters are terrorizing the area. He wants to know what he'll get paid and decide if it is worth his time to employ his skill. Same thing with women. I think he calculates whether or not sleeping with a woman will be worth his time when he's got other things to do. And so that is my summation of Geralt. We do meet a couple other characters. We meet Dandelion, who is a minstrel, who is Geralt's best friend. They're very different from one another. Dandelion is a very flamboyant kind of character. And then we also meet Yennefer, very briefly. Yennefer's at the very end of the short stories that Geralt tells. She is Geralt's love interest, but we only get her for a very brief short telling bit. So I know that those 3 characters will move forward in the next books. Each story felt like its own grim fairy tale. There were a couple of the short stories that I particularly enjoyed. I really liked the first one about the incestuous king. it's not as bad as it sounds. It's a grim fairy tale. It's just that my personal thoughts on this, I rated this as a 2.5 stars. I just wanted more from it. I just wanted more from the storytelling. I understand that these are short stories, but I wanted more explanation. I posted a question on Reddit because I like to go on Reddit from time to time just to, see what other people think about the books that I'm reading. And so I posted a question about what people's thoughts were about The Last Wish, and I just wasn't connecting to it. It seemed that everybody was kind of like a 50-50 split on whether or not they loved the Witcher series as books or whether or not they hated it. It's not that I hated it, it's just that I wanted more. It's not because I'm a fan of Patrick Rothfuss or Robin Hobb or Scott Lynch that I need really intense descriptions of things. It's just I wanted more than this book had to offer. Geralt would perform magic, but it wouldn't mean anything to me because there was no context for it. Those were my main critiques about it. The things just are in this book, and either you will like that or you won't like that. I am going to post a review by Plots and Points. He just finished up The Last Wish because he's also taking part in the Witcher read-along hosted by Elliot Brooks on her channel. And he's a massive Witcher fan, and he has already read them through. This is a reread for him. If you're still interested in reading this book, I'm going to post his review below, so that way you can see the things that he has gathered from the book and the way that he talks about it. It might seem like a vastly different book than what I read. Like I said, it wasn't bad, it's just not what I expected. So overall, I did rate this a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright everyone, so that was my spoiler-free review of The Last Wish written by Andrzej Sapkowski. If you want to see what I'm rating books ahead of time before even getting to the review that I do, you can always follow me on Goodreads. That link is going to be down below. So I did put that I rated this 2.5 stars, and I also just wrote I don't get it on my Goodreads. And of course you can also find me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. It's at WhatCastBread. It's the same as this channel. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.